Heaven has a frequency. Have you ever thought about what that sounds like? Let's talk about it. Human beings are much like a receiver, and we can pick up the frequencies in other people, but also in the spirit. And many people have talked about that the evil realm, the demonic realm, has frequencies, and we can feel those frequencies. And today we're going to talk, David Massey and I, about what the sounds, the frequencies of the enemy are, and what the sounds of heaven are, so that we can always make sure that we're tuned in to heaven and not the enemy. So, here with me today is David Massey, and let's talk about that.
Hi there. Yes, this has been so true in my life. For decades, I have been tuned to the frequency of the enemy and have heard negativity, condemnation, just even the enemy's evil thoughts. And so, obviously, my antenna was tuned down toward the ground, and so I've been able to recognize that and say, well, listen, if it's negative, it's condemning, it's the enemy, simply tune that dial immediately and get out of that radio station, so to speak. But I've also found that when I am trying to dial in and tune in to positivity, that the enemy will counterfeit that as well and will come as, the angel of light, and will come in and try to tell me something positive, but it's really not within the will of Yah. And so I'm having to fine tune the frequency toward heaven and know that it's only Yah that I'm listening to and not the enemy. So that's really been a challenge, but it's something that I've been doing lately. And it's very exciting to me to begin to turn that antenna in a different direction.
When we start feeling negativity, oh, it's easy to decide that that is not us, that is somebody that doesn't want us to be happy. And Jerry Marzinski, which, has researched into um, negative voices in schizophrenics and also other people, confirms that very much. So he calls the enemy that is speaking in these frequencies and these messages in our head energy parasites. And they are sucking the energy. They're energy vampires. It's good to be able to detect that and know when one of these energy vampires, these messages are coming into our mind. The fact is that I have found that the frequency of heaven is a frequency that is beautiful, it's peaceful, it's energizing, but also you feel dignity, civility, and respect for other people. It's not puffing myself up, but it's like I'm a conduit of Yah's energy to other people, and it just feels so beautiful because I experience it and it's flowing through to other people. Now, the enemy I've experienced can also come to validate or to give scripture or to tell me to do something, and it could be an angel of light. But what I don't detect in that his messaging that he would come in with is that same frequency of heaven, that dignity, civility, respect, the connectedness with Yah. There's just such a peace, a shalom that comes with Yah's presence and his voice. And it's the energy of life. It's like a symphony of goodness. And it's not just goodness or validating me or taking me to something that I want, but it's for the greater good. It's for the family of his family. There's enlightenment there. So those are all beautiful things. I know that He can give downloads, but the enemy can as well. He can download something into your mind that is like, oh, wow, that is just so powerful. But I have to tune into it and understand that the enemy knows scripture. He knows scripture just as well as,
Mhm.
I mean, better than anybody. He has got the entire Bible memorized. And he can come and download and deceive. And even when Yeshua was on earth, he was speaking the Bible to verses in the Bible to Yeshua and trying to get him to do something that he shouldn't be doing. And so it's very important that when I hear some type of enlightening message in my mind, that I always go to scripture from Genesis to Revelation, and I look to see, is this verifiable in the way it's being used? That's one way I can tell the frequency of heaven. Is it always um, is in collaboration with every word that comes from Scripture. And many times, Yah will also give me, He will just give me the verses to show that this is repeated over and over and that it's good. And the peace is there and the collaboration and the building up of other people. So I think that when we hear from heaven, there's always a humility because Yeshua said, that the greatest will be the servant of all. And so in messaging from heaven is like that. It's like a symphony of humility and service that brings riches and glory and power to everyone involved. That's just the beautiful thing about the Almighty is He is not self-serving Himself. He created us. He loves us. There's unity. There's peace. And when the enemy comes as an angel of light, it's opposite. It's like when he came to the Garden of Eden and he was talking to Adam and Eve, it was disconnecting them from Yah. It was
Mhm.
suspicious. It was to puff them up. Oh, this fruit is so beautiful, and you can be just like Yah without Yah. And that's absolutely a lie. There's only one energy source. There's only one life giver, and it's Yah. And so that's the frequency of heaven. Is that beautiful, creative energy and light and humility and peace. It's so beautiful.
I can absolutely confirm that. And so the times where I've prayed and I've even like out loud and I'm asking Yah if he would show me something or tell me something, and then I get that download that you talked about. The thing that I have forgotten to do many times is to confirm it with him. I just naturally assume, oh, that sounds really good. That came from him. But that's not the truth and not all the time. So, we're supposed to test the word and go back to him. And I'll pray silently and ask, Yah, if this is you, would you please give me a verse? And I will hear something usually. If not, I'll just wait and I'll ask him again. But I've really learned to not act on the frequency until I know where it's coming from. Is if it appears to be coming from the ground up or from heaven down, and I need confirmation. And Yah's word says to take every thought captive. So in obedience with that, I have to take it and go back to him and ask, Yah, is this really from you? And can you show me in your word that this is you speaking to me so that I will not be deceived from the enemy and I can move forward in what I believe he's calling me to do. And there's times where I have been walking in pride for so much of my life that when that frequency comes in and it's a word, it's a download, or it's something that looks so creative and cool. And wow, this is an inspiration. I want to tell people about it. I want to write it down. And I believe that this is something that is like really lifting me up. I have just gone into that and wholeheartedly, but really, what I was doing was just appealing to my flesh and not coming in humility to say, this is nothing about me or that it would puff me back up. but pride has been a way that the enemy um, has gotten in the past, and it can trip me up right now. I just have to be careful to say, is this something that I'm feeling like, oh, I'm smart, I'm great, this is, look what I came up with, this is from me, and totally it's from the enemy, and it's just, it's not in humility at all. So I really have to look at this. Is this lifting me up, or is it lifting other people up?
About 20 years ago, I met a homeless person in Knoxville, Tennessee, and he was mentally ill, really bad, probably schizophrenic. And he thought that he was a sidewalk preacher. And he would preach the most amazing sermons. He knew scripture, Genesis to Revelation. He had memorized it all. Uh, it seemed, you know. And I wondered why he wasn't, a famous preacher. But I came to recognize because I've been trained in deliverance. Oh wow, since 1980s. I've gone through so many different programs of deliverance and studied demonic activity since about 1980. And so I do recognize when I see this that it wasn't him at all. He actually had a very low IQ, but he was so given over to demons because of his schizophrenia that they could come and just take over his body and his mind and preach a beautiful sermon. The problem was that everybody recognized that, and it was actually a blasphemous because we were watching the devil come as an angel of light through this man and preach Yah's word in a way that had some doctrinal truth and sounded so beautiful, but also had doctrinal uh, inaccuracies that it would really take a learned person to search them out and address them. And so we see how the enemy can come. Our minds, in the way that Yah made us, is that we are a receiver. And as scripture says in Romans 6:16, it says, you are the slave of the one that you serve. It's either Yah in obedience to the truth and to Yah, or it's obedience to Satan. And that's through these thoughts. We're a receiver. And we are, when it says obedience, that word, that Greek word, means the one that you're hearkening to, you're believing, and you're acting upon that entity, that spiritual entity. And we can either act upon the words of heaven, or we can come in collaboration with Yah and his spirit, and we can bring great life, and we can be his servant, or we can hearken to, we can listen, believe, and obey voices that are coming into our head through our receiver that are the enemy. And if we do that, we're giving our lives over to him to serve him. And, to realize this, to realize how we were created and that we're not just our own. We either serve Yah or we serve the enemy. And, that takes all pride away, doesn't it? It's a complete humility that we were created to be possessed by Yah, that in a collaborative relationship. That's what this covenant's all about. And we do that through listening and obeying, believing and obeying Yah. And what we don't want to do is do the same thing to the enemy, that we don't want to pick up his frequency and believe it. And it doesn't mean that we don't hear it. That's what David was saying a moment ago. He was talking about that we need to bring every thought into the captivity of the obedience of Mashiach and his word. He is the living word. So we need to completely abandonly surrender into Yah so that we do not listen to the enemy, because he would love to do that. He would love to, just like he did Adam and Eve, he would love to come and tell us a lie and for us to walk in that. And we need to not do that and only listen to Yahweh. But especially during the time that we live in, it is so imperative that we only tune our ears and our receiver, our mind to Yahweh, so that we have those beautiful white linen garments when He returns, and He's coming very soon. So, this has been fun talking about this. And I want you to know before I go that you are so special. There's absolutely no one else in this world just like you. I love you. Yah loves you. You're needed in the body. Be blessed. And until next time, shalom.